Case report. Winston Schmidt, aka Schmidt from New Girl. Background information. Schmidt is from the television series New Girl. In the show, a quite annoying girl becomes in need of a new place to live and ends up moving in with three random guys she meets on the internet. The three guys already know each other and have to adjust to life living with the new girl. Schmidt's character is one of the guys and has abandonment issues, has childhood trauma, was bullied for being overweight, considered a jerk, very funny, and is one of the most lovable characters in the show. Diagnosis: borderline personality disorder. BPD is a disorder that consists of a person being intense, having unstable emotions in relationships, is impulsive, shows suicidal gestures, and has angry outbursts. They identified four symptoms that strongly predicted class membership in the BPD group: desperate attempts to avoid abandonment, an unstable sense of self, an unstable and intense interpersonal relationships, and impulsiveness. The series is set in the 2010s in Los Angeles, California. So, if Schmidt went to a therapist, he would be diagnosed with BPD. I do not think that this disorder is diagnosed in all cultures. All cultures are different and do not have the same standards for psychological disorders. Stigmas: dramatic, manipulative, attention seeking. Stigmas around BPD can also lead to misdiagnosis with bipolar disorder. Over time, the diagnosis of BPD came to have significant negative connotations in the minds of many clinicians. Evidence: one symptom that Schmidt shows is frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment. These early studies identify a dose response relationship between CT, childhood trauma, and BPD, with more severe CT being associated with higher levels of BPD. An example of this symptom is when Schmidt meets his dad after many years, he won't allow himself to trust his father again. He starts to believe that his father is a good person and won't abandon him, but just gets abandoned by his father again. Another symptom that Schmidt shows is inappropriate, intense anger or difficulty controlling anger. An example of this symptom is when Schmidt wants a California lionfish, but a worker at an aquarium says he cannot have one because they are endangered. Schmidt ends up yelling and steals the fish hat that the worker is wearing. One symptom of BPD that Schmidt does not show is chronic feelings of emptiness. Treatment: I would have Schmidt take antidepressants, antipsychotics, and mood stabilizers. That treatment would help stabilize his emotions and help control his behavior. Addressing underregulation of affect as a sequela of CT rather than only as a feature of BPD may enhance treatment for BPD patients. An ethical concern I have for this treatment is, what if he is better off not getting treated for it? A situational barrier that would occur with this treatment would be if Schmidt ran into his friend Benjamin. Schmidt sees Benjamin as the coolest person ever, and if Benjamin found out he was on pills and didn't think it was cool, he would stop taking them immediately. Broader perspectives: it is never really said in the show that he has this disorder, so it's just up for the audience to notice. I think that the disorder was portrayed well in the show because he shows almost all of the symptoms of the disorder, and yet it is not his entire identity. I think that BPD needs to be showcased more in the film/television industry because people need to be able to understand this disorder, and they need to be able to be portrayed correctly so that the audience can actually understand what is going on with people who have this disorder. References.